What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we were diving into a story that just keeps getting more complicated. The saga of the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook. We all remember the hype, right? A new Big Three was supposed to bring another championship to LA. But what we got was one of the most disappointing seasons in recent memory. And ever since, the blame game has been in full swing. For a long time, the narrative was simple. Russell Westbrook was the problem. His fit was clunky, his stats weren't what they used to be, and he became the main scapegoat for the team's failures. But what if that narrative isn't the whole story? What if someone else deserves a share of the blame for how things went down and how Westbrook's reputation took such a massive hit? Well, one of LeBron James's former teammates is stepping up and pointing the finger directly at the king. Iman Shumpert, who won a championship with LeBron in Cleveland back in 2016, recently dropped some bombshells on the No Chill with Gilbert Arenas podcast. He didn't hold back, and his perspective sheds a whole new light on the Westbrook situation. Shumpert argued that LeBron, by publicly pushing for the Westbrook trade and building up the "let Russ be Russ" hype, created an impossible situation. He set expectations that were never going to be met within the Lakers system. Let's break down what Shumpert said. He basically explained that when you're the face of the franchise, like LeBron is, your words carry immense weight. When LeBron says, "I want this guy," he's not just making a suggestion. He's stamping his approval on the move. He's telling the world, this is the piece we need to win. And when he says, "let Russ be Russ," he's endorsing a specific style of play, the high-octane, ball-dominant style that made Westbrook an MVP. But here's the problem, and it's the core of Shumpert's argument. The Lakers, and specifically a team with LeBron James, were never going to actually let Russ be Russ. LeBron is one of the most ball-dominant players in history. His game for the better part of 2 decades has been built around him controlling the offense, making the decisions, and having the ball in his hands in critical moments. How can you have 2 players who both need the ball to be effective on the court at the same time? It's like trying to fit 2 puzzle pieces into the same slot. It just doesn't work. Shumpert believes that LeBron, being the basketball genius he is, should have known this. He should have understood that bringing Westbrook into that environment would force Russ to fundamentally change his game. He couldn't be the same player he was in OKC or even Washington. He'd have to become a spot-up shooter, a slasher, and a player who operates off the ball, things that have never been his primary strengths. So when the experiment inevitably failed, who took the fall? It wasn't the guy who pushed for the trade. It was the guy who couldn't live up to the impossible, "let Russ be Russ's" promise. According to Shumpert, LeBron effectively set Westbrook up. He created the hype. And when reality didn't match that hype, Westbrook was left holding the bag. His reputation, which was already polarizing but still respected for his MVP-level talent and relentless motor, was completely tarnished. He went from being a superstar to being labeled as unplayable and a vampire in the locker room. This is a really interesting take because it shifts the focus. For so long, the conversation was about Westbrook's stats, his turnovers, his shooting percentages. But Shumpert is talking about the politics and the power dynamics behind the scenes. He's saying that LeBron, perhaps unintentionally, wielded his influence in a way that ultimately destroyed another superstar's career trajectory. Think about it. Before joining the Lakers, Westbrook was coming off a season in Washington where he played well alongside Bradley Beal and led them to the playoffs. He was still seen as a valuable, if unique, asset. After one season in LA, he was seen as toxic. This isn't about saying Westbrook is blameless. His performance on the court had its issues, no doubt. The fit was poor, and he struggled to adapt. But Shumpert's point is that he was put in a position to fail from the very beginning. The vision sold to the public, and maybe even to Westbrook himself, was a fantasy. The reality was that he was expected to be a third option who could somehow still play like a first option, and that was never going to happen. Let's also consider the media pressure. The Lakers are under a microscope unlike any other team. When things go wrong, the media machine needs a villain. It's an easy story to tell. And with LeBron being the untouchable figure and Anthony Davis battling injuries, Westbrook became the perfect target. Every missed shot, every turnover was magnified 100 times over. The narrative took hold, and it was relentless. Schumpert is suggesting that LeBron, by setting the initial expectation, lit the fuse on that media powder keg. Now, Westbrook has since found a new life with the Clippers. Playing a different role with different expectations, he's shown that he can still be a hugely impactful player. He brings energy, passion, and veteran leadership. He's contributing to a winning team in a meaningful way, which makes you wonder, was the problem ever really just Russ? Or was it the situation he was put in? Was it the impossible expectations placed on his shoulders by the very person who wanted him there? Schumpert's comments force us to reevaluate that entire chapter of Lakers history. It challenges the simplistic narrative and asks us to look at the bigger picture. It's a reminder that in the NBA, it's not just about what happens on the court. It's about power, influence, and the stories that get told. LeBron James has built an incredible legacy, but part of that legacy now includes the spectacular failure of the Westbrook experiment and the damage it did to a fellow player's reputation. What do you guys think? Does Schumpert have a point? Did LeBron inadvertently sabotage Russell Westbrook by bringing him to LA with unrealistic promises? Or is this just an attempt to shift blame away from Westbrook's own performance? It's a complex issue with no easy answers, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into the biggest stories in the NBA, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. We'll see you in the next one.